What's going on, guys? And today I want to shout out the Athletics beat writer Eric Corrine of the Raptors, James Edwards of the Pistons, and Kelsey Russo of the Cavaliers for providing the information in this video. So, before we start, let's talk about some past draft classes to give context for the 2021 NBA draft class and the 2016 NBA draft class, because it's been about 5 years since that class has happened, which is an adequate amount of time to, evaluate what things have gone. Ben Simmons, the first pick, he's not a bust. He's done what he's made all-stars. Jalen Brown, he's the third to Boston, and Jamal Murray, the seventh to Denver, who are two high-end number two options who are necessary for their franchise's ascent, but they're not the most important ingredients, as Nikola Jokic and Jason Tatum are in front of those two players. Then you got other players like Brandon Ingram, Domantas Sabonis, Karis LeVert, all three who were traded from the teams that they originally were selected by, Pascal Siakam, DeJounte Murray, Malcolm Brogdon, and undrafted Fred VanVleet. And maybe you could say the 2016 crop was a less loaded than average, but not entirely. Because more often than not, if a draft is lucky to produce a superstar, other all-star two, and hopefully a handful of high-end starters, you could say those are good. But then we can rattle off truly special draft classes, such as the 84 class with Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, and John Stockton, or the 96 with Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, or 2003 with LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, as those are kind of like the outliers. I'm not saying that the 2021 NBA draft class will end up on that level. I'm only saying that through a third of the season, it looks like it could. With a nod to several rookies who are performing well in different roles: Josh Giddey, Jonathan Kuminga, Franz Wagner, Alperen Şengün, Herb Jones, Chris Duarte, Kessler Edwards, Davion Mitchell, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, Bones Hyland, Ayo Dosunmu Cam Thomas, Dalano Banton, Jalen Suggs, and Jalen Green. Just those players I listed above would make this draft class somewhat memorable, with at least a few of those players and some that I didn't list looking like they have all-star potential or could have very long NBA careers. So I want to hear your thoughts down below right now. Like and subscribe for more NBA content like this on a daily basis. I post about 100 videos a month, 3 usually a day. And comment down below what you think is your top 5 rookies. Comment down below your top 5 rookies. Let's get into it. However, the cream of the crop of this draft class are the guaranteed future all-stars with all NBA potential that are Detroit's Cade Cunningham, Cleveland's Evan Mobley, and Toronto's Scottie Barnes. The latter two have been good from pretty much opening night. While Cade Cunningham had to shake off the rust, which included an ankle injury to begin, showing why he was picked first. All three are in the process of returning from health and safety protocols, with Mobley the furthest along, averaging almost 21 points, 7.5 rebounds since his return. And my top 5 currently is Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, Scottie Barnes, Franz Wagner at 4, and Josh Giddey at 5. And I can understand why someone having Barnes ahead of Cunningham, who has missed time with injury, which forced him to start his rookie season somewhat poorly and later than the rest, and COVID-19. But he's really lived up to the hype since recovering and adapting to the NBA game, and I think he's get the benefit of the doubt. Neither, though, are surpassing Mobley anytime soon. Mobley actually has a shot at making the all-defensive team as a rookie. Now, let's first talk about Cade Cunningham. The Pistons got lucky grabbing number 1 overall this year, and they were really in the first true season of a rebuild. And Cade Cunningham is a 6'6" ball handler, some might say he's 6'8", who can shoot and pass and defend. He can play multiple positions, literally 1 through 4. And he could even be a small ball center in a few years, I feel like. It's much easier to build around a team with someone like that as your franchise cornerstone. It's also much easier to build around a 20-year-old who carries all those quote-unquote qualities. I kind of fucked that up right there. Honestly, despite being the consistent number 1 pick and a player with very little flaws, Cunningham exceeded my expectations. I knew he'd be good. I saw him play live, and I wasn't sure it would happen this fast. My biggest concern coming into the season was Cunningham would struggle getting and finishing at the rim. If people were fishing for flaws going to the draft, they pointed out that he wasn't the most explosive athlete. Those concerns were shown at the Las Vegas Summer League. However, outside the first month of his NBA career, he missed all the training camp and preseason in the first few games of the regular season due to the ankle injury. Cunningham succeeded at finishing and attacking the rim. Per NBA.com, the 20-year-old is shooting a respectable 53% from less than 5 feet from the basket. Given his lack of explosiveness, I find that really impressive as a rookie. The early returns are that Cunningham is legit as advertised. Add development of Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, Frank Jackson. Hamidou Diallo and Killian Hayes, as well as a lot of cap space coming up, another top pick and a sexy trade chip in Jeremy Grant. The Pistons may be a year away from being a few years away from being championship contenders, and they should be coming with force when that time comes around. There's room to grow, but that's a good base for Cade Cunningham. Everything else Cade provides has been as expected, even his high turnover rate. Finally, for Cade Cunningham, I think the skill to monitor is how he protects the ball. He's currently averaging almost 4 turnovers a game, the most out of these 3 rookies, which makes sense because he has the ball the most in his hands. But if you can watch those turnovers, I think it'd help him strengthen his offensive presence. Now, Evan Mobley. To be completely honest, I'm surprised how far Evan Mobley is. He's way better than I originally expected. Watch film on him before the draft and saw him play in the NBA Summer League in Las Vegas, but seeing him transition to playing such a consistently high level with the Cleveland Cavaliers has surprised me. Usually there's a few bumps in the road during a rookie's campaign as they get adjusted to all facets of the NBA, especially for bigs, but Mobley's only bumps has been missing time in the health and safety protocol and his elbow injury in November. Other than that, he's one of the reasons why the Cavs have been that successful this season with 21-16 record, 5th in the Eastern Conference as of January 3rd. He's a difference maker on the defensive end, protecting the paint and the rim with Jared Allen, allowing the Cavs' big lineup to thrive. He's a really solid passer and finds teammates for open looks. He finds the spots on the offensive end, especially in this 4-game stretch coming back from protocols. He's been more aggressive offensively. The Cavs are going to need Mobley to help drive the offense because of the injuries they sustained to Ricky Rubio and Colin Sexton. Mobley's presence on both ends of the floor have been such an important impact on the Cavs. As I mentioned above, the level of consistency is the factor that puts him ahead of Cunningham and Barnes as of right now. And Mobley's averaging almost 15 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 2.6 assists. And it's the least amount of points out of 3, but it's not only the factors that matters in this conversation. It's everything else that he's doing. Mobley specifically, I will be focusing on his offensive presence and how if he improves his 3-point shooting, it's game over. I heard from assistant coach Greg Buckner on the elements of his game they've been working on since the beginning of the season. Through 29 games, Mobley's averaged 1.7 3-pointers per game and shooting 32% from that perimeter shot. And if you can build confidence and consistency with that shot, I think he can really round out his game. For Mobley, I think a lot comes down to building out his offensive game, being aggressive on that end of the floor and continuing the level of consistency which he plays at. They want Mobley to shoot more threes. They want Mobley to be more aggressive because he can make plays. They want Mobley to do everything on the court offensively. So if he can continue building his offensive package, that's where he goes from. Coach J.B. Bickerstaff had a great comment the other night on how he was impressed with Mobley and figured out the game so early. I'm thinking about where the next couple of years are going to take him. I think the sentimental shows that the excitement is going to navigate him around and how Mobley be the most important piece on both ends of the floor for the Cavaliers. The roster makeup this season has worked great because of the growth of guys like Darius Garland, Jared Allen, and they signed him to a long-term deal. Having those guys around Mobley and for the future is going to be great. So I do really like that. Now, look, I think one of the best things is Scottie Barnes. We'll talk about Scottie Barnes has been awesome. His ability to take a ball and go coast to coast, his 3-point shooting. I mean, he's been averaging 7.3 assists, it seems like, okay? And I like it, okay? I like Scottie Barnes, and he's fun. He's a very fun guy to watch, and he's really, I think, a combination of Scottie Pippen and I think he's closer to Scottie Pippen than Draymond Green. I just listened to 11 Rings by my man Phil Jackson, and in that book, Phil Jackson even says that, like, look, Scottie Pippen was a point guard at Central Arkansas, and then he grew and became a small forward where he wasn't even, people thought he was just a huge point guard, and look, that's what Scottie was. He was a point guard in college, and I really think he's the next coming of Scottie Pippen, a guy who's going to be one of the best defenders on guarding all 5 positions while being a playmaker, not only by facilitating the offense, but by scoring 20 points a night, grabbing 7 rebounds and 7-7. But then you could say, oh, Tyreek Evans looked like that. He looked like a poor man's LeBron. Like, where's Tyreek now? Where's Tyreek now? And I would tell you to suck my dick right there. But that's basically the video. I hope I didn't take up all of your guys' day. I think, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys got? Any thoughts? I think definitely it's been fun, okay? Definitely been hella fun making this video. I want to hear your thoughts down below. I'm a peace out, though. and go do maybe some fun shit. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm just kind of actually milking this at this point because I am starting to edit another video. So like, it just makes my life easier if I just do this. If you made it to the end of the video, gang, thank you for the ad revenue. Ad revenue is very greatly appreciated. So hey, A-Town, what up? You know, thank you for helping out with the ad revenue, you know, helping me pay the bills, keeping myself well fed, which is important because I like to eat, I like to live, you know. Life is good. That's the end, guys.